Hey guys, welcome back to another Chelsea Brothers episode. Been a while, so we've got a few matches to catch up on, and yeah, let's get into it.
All right, guys. So as Paz mentioned, we got three games to talk about. We have the game against Manchester United, a 0-0 draw. Then we have the game against Krasnodar, which is a Russian team who we played in the Champions League, which was a 4-0 win. And then we got the game that happened the most recently, the game against Burnley, a 3-0 win at Turf Moor. All right, so let's kick it off with the game against Man U. Neeks, why don't you kick it off?
Well, before jumping into it, I just want to say overall, thank you, Lampard, for finally signing a good goalkeeper. Mendy has been fantastic. And then if we're going to talk about that Man United game, I think he single-handedly saved us 2 points. 3 points, sorry. So the one save against Rashford, wow, the reflexes, and then again against Rashford, he was brilliant in that game. But what I didn't like is we kept wanting to counter, and we never ever established possession or created real threats. And I just think Chelsea wasn't really in that game. But I do think that what it did do was help us establish defensive confidence. And because we played five at the back, it allowed us to just be more defensive and get a clean sheet. And obviously it seemed to work because now we're starting to score goals, but also keep clean sheets against Krasnodar and Burnley. So I'm actually happy with the Man United game. I think a 0-0 draw is actually what we need is what we needed in that time during the season.
What you said about the whole possession thing, right? I think there was this 10-minute period where actually Man U did not have the ball in our third of the game. There was a possession. There was a stat saying 61% was in the middle third, 31% in their third, but 0% in our third. Which kind of showed.
Yeah.
I think we started the game well, especially in the middle part of the game. But then as we got into the second half of it, we lost control. Man U came out with this new fire in the belly. I don't know what exactly happened in there, in the dressing room, but they came out like a new team. So
yeah. So we actually all watched that together, and what I said while watching is it's like the complete opposite of what you expect from this Chelsea side. No goals and a clean sheet. Great to see the clean sheet. Almost weird not to see a couple goals in there though.
Yeah, it was kind of like an off day for our attacker. I mean, I don't think we really. I think we had two shots on target the entire game. There's one by Pulisic when he cut in from the left. I think there's another one.
I do think tactically that was a decision made by Frank to focus solely on the defensive part because in the second half, all of Chelsea's game was the counter and literally it was just Havertz and Timo trying to create something up front. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything, but defensively they were extremely sound. And again, Edouard Mendy, wow, beautiful. I think 3 beautiful saves that I can recall.
Yeah.
Wait, Neeks, Harry, do you guys think that Chelsea went to Old Trafford? Oh wait, was it Stamford Bridge or Old Trafford? I'm not sure.
Old Trafford.
Yeah, okay. Do you think Chelsea went to Old Trafford with the intention of getting a draw, or do you think they were actually?
I think they went with the. I think you always go to somewhere like going for the win, but I do think that a draw was an outcome that they could accept from that kind of game. But they couldn't have but they would have always been going for the win. But yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree with Spaz here, because Man United were coming off really good form against PSG in the Champions League. And I think Frank was just looking for a very defensively good game for Chelsea, regardless of the draw or win. I just think he wasn't looking for a loss, obviously, but what he did is just to establish defensive confidence in the players and defensive structure. That's why he put 5 at the back.
Yeah, I guess that justifies why he went with the 5 at the back approach instead of the 4 at the back, which we have traditionally this season. But also, I mean, but the game against Man U, I mean, obviously, as you guys are saying, that we did go with a slightly more defensive attitude this game, but something wasn't right with attack that game. I personally could not put my finger on it. I'm not sure what was wrong. They just were not clicking. So.
Yeah, I think there was just chemistry-wise, Timo and Havertz on the international stage seemed to be very, very good together. But for some reason with Chelsea, I haven't seen such a spark yet. There's been little things here and there, but they haven't really connected yet. And Old Trafford's such a huge pitch, and I thought that they'd be able to counter better with the pacey wingers and strikers that we have at Chelsea. But obviously, I think you could see in the second half, formationally, very defensive from Chelsea, and I'm actually glad that game happened because the next two subsequent results have been fantastic, clean sheets with lots of goals. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, on the international stage, right? The way that Germany has been set up is it's set up as a way to bring the best out of Havertz. The whole team has been created around Havertz as the key man, and that's not something we're doing here at Chelsea. So I think that's the reason we haven't seen the best of Havertz yet. And I feel that once we do find the best of Havertz, once we find his best position, which I think we have found now in the next 2 games, but once we find that, I guess that's when we'll be seeing the best of Timo Werner, the best of Christian Pulisic, the best of Hakim Ziyech, because we all know the ability that Kai Havertz has. We've seen it from last in the Bundesliga. So I think we need to wait for that. Yeah.
I agree. But moving on to the Champions League. Sorry, Harry. Although we kept a clean sheet, I was actually a little disappointed defensively. Chelsea conceded a lot of chances that easily could have gone in, and luckily Krasnodar were not very clinical in the final third, but we actually conceded quite a few chances to the team.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, on the other hand, right? I think that's because there was a small period of the game where they just dominated the game, right? I think we dominated the game for easily 60-70 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's that brief 30 minute period of the game where Krasnodar, this I think around the second half, right, when they came out again, they came up with a better attitude than Chelsea, and they just really pressed against us. And I think between the 30 minute period, there were those chances, but I mean, when a team dominates possession, you expect them to get a lot of shots on you. So
yeah, but like Chicken McDonald's, you have to also realize that if Chelsea stepped off the gas and gave a Premier League team 20 minutes to just dominate them, they're going to be much more clinical than that, and they'd finish you off. A team like Man United with Marcus Rashford scored a bloody hat-trick in 18 minutes off the bench the other day. Just give them one little chance like that. I know Edward Mendy stopped them last time, but Premier League teams are a lot more clinical than that, and I think we'd most likely concede with how we played in that 30-minute period, as you mentioned.
It's not even Premier League teams. It's just most other top level sides that it was lucky it was against Krasnodar in the Champions League, but most other games in Champions League give them that, and they're scoring a few.
Yeah, but I was happy offensively with Chelsea. They created lots of chances, and especially towards the end of the game, they were very good creatively, which I enjoyed.
But I think we cannot not talk about this game without talking about the man who got his first start for Chelsea, Hakim Ziyech. I mean, he had an absolute brilliant game. He got his first goal for the club as well. He did win man of the match on his first start for the club, and I think he has an absolute brilliant game. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree. I've been excited to watch him play, or to start at least, and he didn't disappoint.
Yeah, I agree with Harry. What I love about Ziyech is you'll be watching him and you're thinking, like, why isn't he in the game? He's just drifting off to the right, doing nothing. And then bang, he gets the ball and he just does something ridiculous with it. And he does that quite often. And he just has this moments of just brilliance, like, really quickly. It's fantastic.
There were really good crosses he put in from the right-hand side with his left foot. 2 of them to Havertz and one between Chilwell and I think it was either Werner or Callum Hudson-Odoi, but there was another one over there. But he created some really good chances, and I think Havertz should have at least converted one of them, and Chilwell should have made the second one, put a cross back in.
Yeah. But overall, I was very happy with Chelsea's performance in that. I think it was good. And then I think we saw that we carried that form on to the next game against Burnley in the Premier League. I think that game was brilliant for Chelsea. Just that kind of performance when you just when you play a bottom half team and you just outclass them. It's just great football, and that's how you win the Premier League. That's the results you need. It's not about the huge wins against the top six. It's more the more dirty games against the bottom team clubs where you just dominate them and get good results there. It was just brilliant confidence booster, I think, for the team. And Hakim Ziyech, another brilliant game. He played tremendously, good goal. The other thing is, Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante in the midfield, also tremendous. I thought the midfield was very good for Chelsea that day.
Yeah, something I actually I do want to touch upon is this new midfield three where we play Kante, where we play N'Golo as a lone CDM, and then we play Havertz and Mount as team number 8, right? It worked brilliantly in the second half against Krasnodar when we scored 3 goals. It worked brilliantly against a team like Burnley where we scored 4 goals. I mean, I love the fact that we have Kante covering the back 4, acting like the guy just protecting them. Then we got 2 really creative-minded players in Mount and Havertz, and we're actually getting the best of Mount as well because we're no longer playing him in the wide position. We're playing him centrally. But do you think we can use that against the bigger teams?
Well, I don't see why not. I think there's a lot of people that don't really like Mason Mount. They think he just lacks final product. I disagree with them completely. He's one of my West Ham friends talked to me about this, and he said Mason Mount is the greatest presser there is. Every single time, I know Kante covers every blade of grass, but anytime someone receives the ball, Mason Mount is on them, and I think creatively in the final third, he's also been quite good for Chelsea in that last game. And Havertz, once he gets into the rhythm of things, I think he's going to be really good, and I think he'll be able to. I think that midfield trio will be able to take down top 6 sides.
But Spags, do you guys think it'll leave us very vulnerable on the defensive end?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you think it'll leave us very vulnerable on the defensive end of it because we have only one really defensive-minded player?
Yeah. I think potentially. I think that's something Frank may have to change. But it's tough. The thing is, you have the physical presence with Havertz. Then you have, of course, N'Golo Kante, who's just a defensive-minded genius, but obviously he can't do it by himself. I think one of the midfielders out of one of the number 8s, I think they just have to communicate with one another and see which one can track back. The thing is that our back 4 is pretty shaky at the moment, but is quite confident at the moment with the last 3 results. So I think Thiago Silva, Zuma, Chilwell, and Azpilicueta will be the back 4 for. Reece James. For a while. I think it's fantastic.
Spal, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Nico summed it up. Yeah.
What I want to ask you guys is, in the 3 games, which player did you think was the best overall, the worst overall, and who do you think is going to pick up form soon?
Who's going to what? What's the third one? Sorry.
Who do you want to pick up more form? Who do you think is going to pick up form?
I think Kai Havertz. Sorry, go ahead.
You go.
I think Kai Havertz will pick up form. I think Jorginho was the worst of the players who played in these last 3 games, and I think the best player has been Hakim Ziyech.
All right. Harry?
I think Mendy. Mendy's been the best player. I think Jorginho has been the worst, and then Havertz. I don't even know if he will pick up form, but I would like to see a bit more from him for the price tag. I'm gonna wishful thinking. Havertz picking up form.
Just one thing. Sorry. The thing is that Havertz really hasn't had a bad season. He's had 6 goals in games.
I didn't say he had a bad game.
His price tag and his what he was in the Bundesliga. He has a
hype around him.
He hasn't replicated what he was doing for Leverkusen yet, and I'm sure he'll get there. Like what Harry's saying, but
Yeah, but there's an article that I actually read a couple of days ago. It talks about how in the last 2 seasons, even in the Bundesliga, right, up till the December, up till the winter break that they get, right, Havertz normally has a very bad season. He normally doesn't have that many goal involvements. He doesn't really do much. But apparently, when he comes back from the winter break, he apparently kicks off, and he's really good towards the business end of the season, especially. So I mean,
Alright.
Let's hope for that.
I'm hoping that's what we see from Havertz this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the best player for me, it's like both you said, it's either Mendy or Ziyech. I think just they've been doing the opposite jobs, but both brilliant at it. The worst player again is Jorginho. Um, he really just does not. When I watch Jorginho, you're never just the football's just not nice. It's strange to put it, but you just don't like to watch it. It's not exciting. It's not creative. Sometimes he'll pull off a spectacular pass, but he's never confident enough to do that often in the game. I think Mason Mount, even though he's probably a worse passer than Jorginho, he always tries new things and to find players in the attacking third. And then the player I'd like to see pick up form is Kurt Zouma. He was a little shaky against Southampton. He started to pick up form. He's got 3 clean sheets in a row, so I think he's going to start being really confident now. Obviously, he got a goal against Burnley, so he should be quite confident.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to start putting in some great forms.
The thing he's got to ensure he doesn't become too confident and he doesn't make the silly mistakes that he's been known to do a lot of times. I mean, again, Burnley, he was caught out one time, and he luckily positioned himself in such a way that he got the foul. But I mean, I'll be having those against top sides, right? So he's got to ensure he doesn't get too overconfident with his good run of form.
Yeah, I agree.
And just one thing I want to talk about is Nick's mentioned at the start when we started talking about the Burnley game that this was the performance of champions, right? But the thing is, though, we might have had the performance of champions, but we've got to ensure that we have the consistency of champions. I mean, looking at even Liverpool, Man City, they put the work in week in, week out. They get those results week in, week out against the smaller teams, against the bigger clubs as well. Now with this game against Burnley, we know that we have the ability, we have the capability to do it. But the question is, can we maintain it? Can we sustain it for a full year, for a full season? Do you guys think we can do that?
There is the potential for that for sure. I know in my Premier League predictions I said Chelsea win the league. It's definitely a bit shaky, obviously, but there's the potential for them to continue this way. And yeah, it's just about keeping your heads down, just going for it. Yeah.
Well, I think Frank has a defensive formula in mind, and he's slowly incorporating the correct ingredients. So far, Mendy, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, and I think these 3 imports are really going to create a foundation and for the defensive backline. So I think we will be able to become more consistent from now on. It's just I'm not sure. I know we score a lot, but I feel like that actually might be the most inconsistent part of our season now, because there's just so many attacking options, and I haven't found them to have chemistry yet. Although Ziyech and Vern, I do think will actually form a better partnership than Havertz and Vern. Yeah.
And we still haven't seen actually all 4 of them play together with Havertz, Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech. We almost had that again in the game against Burnley, with the hope that Werner comes off the bench and then all 4 of them play together. But sadly, Pulisic with another injury again, which is hamstring. May God help him. I mean, his career has been ridden with a lot of injuries. I kind of feel bad for him because we all know the kind of quality player he is. So let's see if we can back from it again.
I agree. Well, that's it for the episode, guys. Thank you for watching. I think Chicken Merchant McDonald's and Mickey D's will be releasing a new episode soon, probably next week. But I want to say thanks, boys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.